Considered the backbone of the economy, SMEs play a vital part of the work. However, small businesses sometimes face economic and existential crises. As a blessing of disguise, today, major companies have taken into account the role of SMEs as a series of actions to achieve ESG, and WeChat Pay is no exception. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is tremendous honor to stand before you today. My name is Gary Neville as the first speaker, to be followed by my colleagues Johanna, Ardelia, and Felicia. We are Tim Universitas Gadjah Mada, proudly representing Indonesia. Before we get you into our presentation, please take a look at our executive summary to understand what we are going to cover in the next few minutes. Our presentation for today will be centered on one key question, consists of three key issues to address with two strategies and the following projected key impacts. Ladies and gentlemen, on this occasion, we are going to answer the following key question. How can WeChat Pay enhance technology features to achieve sustainable growth for SMEs and WeChat Pay in the long term? Now, let's take a look at our present context. WeChat Pay struggled to tackle issues with payment confirmation, management, and security when SMEs use WeChat Pay. Furthermore, there's a high level of interconnectivity amongst SMEs, and it raised the needs to increase WeChat Pay merchants' retention. Through our strategies of enhance and engage, we envision a better future where WeChat Pay can develop new innovation from untapped feature to solve problems that occur at merchant, while increasing WeChat Pay users' retention and interaction. With this context in mind, let's jump into our analysis. We understand that SMEs have an important role in the Chinese economy. SMEs account for 90% of companies in China, where this coverage has a large impact indirectly and directly. The promising growth of SMEs, especially small businesses in China, is also something to consider, where the growth of 29.5% of SMEs in China in 2021. Unfortunately, 18.5% of SMEs in China is failed to survive. This is due to lack of funding, business agility, and adaptation to digital innovation. And COVID-19 has made this even worse. Utilizing its WeChat, which emphasizes a huge user base and social connection, Tencent created WeChat Pay. By looking at the potential of the business segment of SMEs nowadays, WeChat Pay changed its positioning from a payment service provider to an operating service provider. Therefore, we understand the key insight that Tencent can optimize the ESG to be implemented in WeChat Pay in achieving Tencent's core values. But then, the median ESG score in China is relatively low. It is about 2.9, less than other major countries and global. Meanwhile, there are so many benefits for companies considering ESG. As such, implementing technology in the ESG will be useful. Looking at the role of technology has taken a major role in shaping vision and long-term plans by solving ESG issues that happen in the company. Driven by its three pillars of environment, social, and governance, we analyze what WeChat Pay has not been able to reach and optimize. To better understand, we analyze at the current situation of ESG implementation on WeChat Pay. On the environmental side, we are aware that WeChat Pay initiative of Tencent Cloud Data as their data center has not emphasized the direct contribution of consumers. On the other hand, we see a market trend that Chinese consumers appreciate direct actions, that 76% of Chinese consumers are willing to change their personal behavior to contribute to the environment, one of which is low carbon development. We also see some consumer pain points that are related to merchants in SMEs. On the social side, merchants face challenges with payment methods, business payment confirmation, and the complexity of business management. Related to the government side, we see a pain point of merchant in terms of merchant security assurance. Many merchants do not fully trust the application of technology. On the other hand, WeChat operation from China under Chinese law, so WeChat Pay has to include strong censorship provisions and interception protocols. Therefore, we understand that there is a lot of room for improvement and much more potential to grow for WeChat Pay. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been mapping the purpose of our proposal. Rooting back to our key question, we find out two key issues to address. Issues with payment confirmation, management, and security in using WeChat Pay, and high level of interconnectivity among SMEs raise the need to increase WeChat Pay's merchants' retention. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we introduce to you our grand solution, enhance and engage of WeUp and WeSociety.
Now, let's take a look at the proposed solution. The first key issue that WeChat Pay currently faces is the misconfirmation, management difficulties, and threat to security that happen among the WeChat Pay users. To tackle this issue, we propose enhanced WeUp. Through this strategy, we want WeChat Pay to develop new innovation to solve problems that occur at the merchants by developing integrated application for SMEs and creating convenience and security features for SMEs regarding digital transaction. Furthermore, let's understand the importance of providing secure and convenient digital features for SMEs. We analyze this based on ESG aspect. First is the environment. Connectivity is one of the supporting factors for the environment to build sustainable communities, namely the SMEs itself. This can be implemented by integrating the digital payment on WeChat Pay. Second is the social. The objective from this aspect is to enhance the financial inclusion, SME service, and education for SMEs. The implementation from this aspect is the development of digital-based payment application that is focused on SMEs. And lastly is governance. Governance aspect plays roles on data security and countermeasures against the scam. Thus, from this objective, we can enhance digital security to make a secure WeChat Pay environment for its users. Together, they can build a strong strategy, and we deliver it through our proposed plan, namely WeUp, to build a sustainable digital payments ecosystem for SMEs. Now, you might be wondering, what is WeUp and how does it work? So basically, WeUp is an integrated digital payment and application that is focused on SMEs to provide payment management, accept non-cash payment, and provide automatic transaction records. WeUp is also integrated with WeChat, WeChat Pay, and WeBank as its distinctive features. This application mainly consists of profile settings, admin settings, transaction activity, balance information, and financial report. Admin settings allows SMEs to provide control over other individuals, which makes system control more flexible. To tighten the security, the system will provide historical activity, registration authentication, and two verification from the owner to the employee. In addition, the UI UX will also be simplified to make it easier for SMEs to use the application. WeUp features are also aligned with the objective from each ESG aspect. Furthermore, let's deep dive into the first and second aspect, environment and social aspect. Environment is about the connectivity that will create a sustainable community. The society is answering the objective of financial inclusion, SME service, and also education. We combine this aspect to get a better ecosystem of SMEs by creating WeUp that integrates three features, namely WeChat Pay, WeBank, and WeChat Social. With the development of the application, surely we provide guidelines as the procedure for SMEs to help them understand better. The guideline itself will be equipped with voice application commands to make it easy for SMEs to understand how the app works. When they finish the guideline and tutorial, they can repeat it by searching the feature in the settings. We're adding the voice command into the guideline because we found that 90% of registered WeChat Pay users use the feature and they found it effective. In addition, the guideline assists SMEs in understanding the sophistication of application integration in order to avoid further confusion. Now, firstly, from the activation of WeChat in WeUp, we aim to connect consumers with the SMEs by creating chat rooms that are relevant to each sales area. For example, if there's a chat room that specifically discusses about health, this can be used by the pharmacy. Not only that, SMEs can also develop customer groups specifically for their customer stores community. Second is WeChat Pay. There is no different feature from the function, but we want to integrate this with WeUp that is used for business-only payment system to separate between personal payment and business payment. Third is WeBank. From WeBank, we want to connect WeUp with WeChat Bank partners so they can send and receive money directly through the network between WeChat Pay and WeBank. To achieve financial inclusion, WeBank will also provide the loan mechanism. The loan is focused on unbankable people, and we can utilize the WeChat Social to deepen the KYC information. And since the WeChat Pay is also integrated, it can be easier to send the money. Moreover, in order to avoid default, the feature will also be provided with AI customer service to remind the debt repayment. WeUp is also answering the objective from the government aspect. The key action is to implement the payment gateway. Basically, payment gateway is the technology that reads and transfer payment information from WeChat Pay users to the merchant's WeChat Pay system. This is a cloud-based software that connects consumers to the merchant. So, how does the system work? First, the users or consumers will initiate a purchase. And second, the payment will go into the action and it will check the WeChat Pay to make sure the fund is available to ensure the transaction is not exceeded from consumer's account balance. And third, the payment gateway will send the encrypted financial information. And fourth, the transaction will be approved and the information will be sent to the merchant. And lastly, the payment gateway will send the information to the WeChat Pay system. In addition, to enhance our security, we will also create a QR code that can be used universally and will generate the amount specifically from the system to the consumer. So the consumer no longer needs to input the nominal value of the transaction manually. This also will be integrated with blockchain to make transaction verification and recording is immediate and permanent. All in all, we see that this initiative is a strategic plan to be conducted by WeChat Pay. We projected the user to get better satisfaction from the application usage and gain incremental downloaders for about 15.9 million.
Furthermore, to tackle WeChat Pay's high level of interconnectivity amongst SMEs that raise the need to increase WeChat Pay's merchant retention, we introduce our second solution, Engage WeSociety, that aims to increase WeChat Pay users' retention and interaction through the creation of membership program, providing necessary training for merchants, and the creation of a gamification feature. But before we dive even deeper, you must be wondering why we should develop and implement WeSociety. Firstly, SMEs have a low rate of survivability in China, where about 20% of them failed in their first year. Also, SMEs have a failure rate of about 18.5% in 2020, which is caused by the lack of human capital and SMEs' inability to utilize necessary business skills in running their business. Second, the emergence of interconnectivity between apps brings the opportunity for WeChat Pay to receive an additional e-commerce revenue of RMB 70 billion. But to achieve this, they need to increase their SME merchants' retention rate. Departing from those situations faced by WeChat Pay, we introduce WeSociety as a program that aims to increase users' retention by generating users' loyalty points. Thus, with this project, we could also keep users attracted and attached to WeChat Pay. The points used in this program, namely WePoint, itself will be obtained from one merchant transaction, where that transaction will be generated into one WePoint. The collected WePoint also will be able to be redeemed into an ESG-based offer or exchanged into a carbon quota that will be explained in a later slide. Moreover, as you can see in this slide, this will be the WeSociety roadmap that will be visible for WeSociety users, where in this roadmap, they will be presented with every offering that is offered by WeChat Pay for every WePoints that they have collected. Example, for users who have obtained 5 WePoints will be granted access to personalize their QR code so that they will have a unique QR code for their business. And for 20 plus WePoints, users could redeem it into a basic business skill training such as IT, marketing, and also business planning. One notable thing is that WeChat Pay will also provide WeAcademy for advanced business skill training, where people should pay a registration fee for every training that they are desired to take part in. This initiative also is more focused for those who did not use WeSociety, but have the interest to study about some advanced business skills. The concept of WeAcademy itself will be formed as an online course where participants will be handed a module and also assignments for each session to better learn and practice the skills. Other than that, WeAcademy will also hold a monthly workshop session where participants could join and even implement the learned skills in the session. Hence, through this initiative, SMEs will not only have the theoretical knowledge of the required business skills, but also how to implement it in real action. Based on this program, we expect to achieve the following outcome from 2 of the main aspects, which are governance and social, as seen in the right-hand side of the slide. To further engage users to always use our features, we also introduce a gamification feature in WeChat Pay, namely WeCatch, where it aims to invite people to take part in carbon emission reduction initiative to reach environmental sustainability. Moreover, to play WeCatch, users will firstly need to click every carbon reduction activities in every transaction that they have done. Second, after they finish clicking all their carbon reduction activities, they will be redirected into the games page where they need to catch the following items. The catch items will then be converted into carbon emission reduction points based on the activities that they have done. To make this game attractive also, we will add a leadership board so that users could compete with one another to have the highest carbon emission reduction points. With this initiative, we expected to keep user screen time in WeChat Pay app. Next, to further engage people to reduce carbon usage, we also gave the platform for users to conduct carbon trade, where everyone will have their determined carbon quota, and that quota could be increased or decreased based on their activities that they do. Those who have reached their carbon quota limit will have to trade to get more carbon quota by clicking the Let's Trade button. Users will then be able to trade their carbon quota where they need to exchange their WePoint for their extra quota. Another notable point that we realized that we need to have a definite determination of carbon emission reduction conversion points and also the individual carbon quota. Thus, we'll be partnering up with local environment institutions such as Beijing Environmental Exchange to determine the conversion points of each activity and also the individual carbon quota. To our second strategy, engage We Society, we expect to achieve this following KPI of increasing SMEs survivability rate and increase in WeChat Pay users retention.
Now, let's move on to the implementation. First, we will take a look of how our first strategy generates revenue. Our calculation here comes from the total of small and medium enterprises in China. After that, we got 10% conversion rates, which is the industry benchmark for potential merchant. Next, with assumption of average transaction price of $5 and transaction fee of 0.5% from the total transaction, we projected that Enhance will lead to incremental revenue of $79.5 billion in 3 years. Next, we will look at how our second strategy generates revenue. The main objective of our second strategy is to retain user. So our calculation here comes from the user that we projected to use our services. From here, with the conversion of retention rate of 25% that come from the industry benchmark and average transaction price of $5, we projected incremental revenue of $19.93 billion in implementing Engage strategy. From the cost side, we divided it based on each strategy we proposed. For Enhance, we will do complex app making, maintenance, and lastly, marketing to reach out our targeted market. The total cost from Enhance would be $174 million. Next, from Engage, we plan to do We Academy, which will incur cost in terms of training costs and also QR customization for our consumer that has reached out our roadmap. Lastly, we will need feature enhancement to support the gamification of the application. The total cost from Engage would be $59.7 million. Hence, we expected to incur about $223.7 million in implementing both strategies. In summary, Enhance will gain incremental revenue of $79.5 billion and also incremental downloader of 15.9 million SMEs. Next, Engage is projected to lead incremental revenue of $19.93 billion and give comprehensive training video to be the main attraction for our user. This revenue will be used to support sustainability growth of WeChat. In order to implement our strategy, we propose a timeline with a lifespan around 3 years. For Enhance, we would do app development and making IT team in the first place, and will be followed by app maintenance to assure the smoothness of our application and also marketing reach out our targeted market. For Engage, we will do course making in the first place and will be followed by feature enhancement, gamification, and also QR customization. However, there must be potential risk in every strategy. Thus, we have identified 2 key risks above the critical line, which are IT errors in the app that will be mitigated by regular maintenance and improvement, and also retention rate that is lower than expected that will be mitigated by evaluating the benefit and potential schemes to attract more users. We believe that WeChat can enhance technology features and tackle 2 key issues, which are issue with payment confirmation, management and security while using WeChat Pay, and also high level of interconnectivity amongst SMEs that raise the needs to increase merchant retention. By our strategy, Enhance and Engage, provide and fit the suitable services for SMEs and reach growth sustainability. Thank you. Now we are open to questions.
Okay, thank you University Gadjah Mada for your presentation. And it is now time for the Q&A session. Please, judges, please keep the question concise and leave your thoughts and comments for the debate session. And the 15 minutes countdown start now. Let's hear the first question from the judges.
Hello, thank you, team. It was very nice, very energetic presentation. Congratulations. My question is that so you guys were mentioning about the revenue, benefits, profits, and all that stuff. I'm not sure if I missed this out. Did you mention what is the revenue impact on SMEs instead of only WeChat? Or what is the benefit, quantifiable benefit you are targeting on SMEs?
Okay, thank you for the question. The revenue impact for SME itself, it is generated from the enhanced feature of WeChat itself. So SMEs could effectively run their business. Hence, they could increase their revenue more than before with the enhanced feature that we have made for WeChat Pay. Thank you.
Okay. Is there a target, something which you have put in your proposal for that?
Thank you for the question. So we have targeting about 10% of the market share, which is the potential merchant that we will target it in the first place. And in 3 years, we will target it about 30% of the market share because it is the industry benchmark.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm happy to go next. So I've got sort of two-part questions. So the first part is it a deliberate approach from a strategy perspective to position this problem around ESG? So anchoring on ESG in terms of your value proposition, is it a deliberate strategy?
Okay, thank you for the question. Since our strategy revolves around the enhancement of WeChat Pay app itself, we felt that a 3 years timeline lifespan is feasible to execute this kind of strategies. Since what we need to do is to enhance the app and develop more of the app and not making the app from scratch. Thank you.
Got it. And my second part of the question is, the overall plan is very ambitious with the amount of money spent, right? 257 million. And have you thought about, from commercial perspective, which of the solution would you start first?
Okay.
Is it WeUp? Is it, which one of your strategy would you do first commercially?
Okay, thank you for the question. I think for the timeline itself on whether WeUp first or the We Society first that we would generate, we felt that we could generate it together since it is since WeUp and also We Society complemented each other. So maybe we could develop the WeUp first since it is the one who will effectively help SMEs to save time and also money to run their business, and then create the We Society henceforth to retain the merchants to always use our offered services. Thank you.
And can I just ask a question? So the numbers you've shown, are these in the Indonesian rupee or this is US dollars you're proposing? Sorry, just.
Thank you for the question. So the number that is provided is in US dollar.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Sorry, Arnab.
Thanks, everyone. I think it's been a very, very detailed presentation, and it did cover a lot of ground in here. I've got two questions in here. Number one is, how does the strategy translate to the success for the SMEs and their long-term growth? It does seem like a large part of this focus is on success for the WeChat, so I was not able to correlate as to which part of the strategy is for success of the SMEs. Second question is, whilst it's a problem statement which is being presented from a WeChat perspective, has it considered what the competition would be doing in the same period? How would the changes in the government regulations, etc., and other uncontrollable events impact upon the strategy? Thank you.
Thank you so much for the question. So I would like to answer about the sustainability from the SME side. So we provide some training and also some education for the SME if they use our services and reach some roadmap that we provided. And from that, the SMEs can reach the sustainability of their business in the long term. So not only from the WeChat side.
In addition, also, our strategy is also answered the current situation that faced by the SMEs. For example, like the misconfirmation, and we're implement this through our enhanced WeUp application. So they have like integrated features like WeChat Pay, WeChat Social, and also WeBank that can complete each other operation of their businesses. Thank you.
In addition, also, for SMEs, we could also embrace the financial inclusion that we offered through our WeUp strategy, where we integrated WeChat Pay, WeChat Social, and also WeBank, where we offered the service of loans for unbankable people. So it makes them have a financial inclusion. And also, we also increase this SMEs sustainability by giving them or providing them the We Academy itself, where we gave them an online course to teach them on basic business skills that they need since they face those problems right now. Thank you.
Great. Now on to my second question, just to repeat that, how and what is the consideration being taken for the competition, for example, Alibaba, etc., and the different changing, let's say, government or regulatory environment that might be impacting upon the WeChat and its strategy?
Okay, thank you for the question. To face the competition itself, it could be seen in our transaction fee. Here is it. Here is it. The transaction fee that we aim for is at 0.5%, which is lower than our biggest competitor, which is Alipay. And to answer the second question itself, based on the government regulation changes, we also consider that WeChat Pay itself operates under the Chinese law. And to maintain a good relationship between WeChat Pay and also the government, we would make a partnership where we share our data for the Chinese government's macro analysis needs, because it is regulation-wise, it is a feasible plan to do.
In addition, we also want to build the relationship that is peace with the government, so we can help the government to alleviate the poverty, and also we can secure the data for the microeconomic analysis that's very important for the country itself.
Thank you, Kai. Subin?
Yeah, thank you for all the question and answer from the judges and also from the students. So if there is no additional questions, so we will now move to the deliberate session. So thank you, or the judges will now stay in the room to deliberate, and to the dear team, we will place you in the waiting room and bring you back for the feedback session in a few minutes. So everyone else, please kindly leave the room, and we will see you later for the result announcement. Thank you.